Welcome to the Supplier Spotlight interview, brought to you by Universal Unilink. In each episode, we dive into insightful conversations with our top suppliers to uncover the expertise and innovations that drive your business forward. Let's get started.
Gemline is known for high-end bags and great branded gift items. And when you think about stepping up your promo game, Gemline is one of the promotional products suppliers that really comes to mind. But there's some things about Gemline I bet you didn't know. And that's why I'm so glad to have Jamie Girogi with Gemline here to talk about all the great things going on with Gemline. And I think you're going to be surprised by some things that she has to tell you. Jamie, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be on here and talk all things gem.
Great. One of the things we were talking about just before we got started, uh, how Gemline got started, and the fact that you guys don't just buy stuff off the shelf.
Yep. Yep. So part of our origin story, well, and to take it way back to, when Jonathan Isaacson's father, established this business, they were selling combs for people, first day of school pictures, right? Picture day. So that
Wow.
was sort of what the bread and butter was of the business was combs. So it's sort of an interesting origin story. And there's some really great old school ads that Jonathan, our owner, is actually in as a child, promoting the sorts of products they sold back in the day. So we've been in business for over 60 years. As we started to get into the cut and sew categories, the big differentiator for us out in the market is that we're a design and build company. So that really means that, every item that we put into the market under the Gemline brand is designed and built by a Gemline designer, whether it's in-house here in Lawrence, Massachusetts, where we're headquartered, or in our sister company overseas in Shenzhen, China. We're not shopping the shelves. Everything that we put out into the market is unique to Gemline,
Which I think that's an important distinction
for
because
sure.
there's a lot of players in the promo space. But what does that mean for our members, our distributor members, when they're ordering from Gemline?
Sure. So, when you're ordering products from Gemline, it's going to be, we like to say it's Gemlineized, right? It's a little bit elevated. Even the items at the lower price point are going to have some sort of spin on them that's going to make them a little bit more elevated. So, you talked about retail brands and our sort of reputation out in the market for high end and retail. And we love that reputation, and we really like to see ourselves as a destination for retail brands. But what a lot of people don't know, and I think what sort of pigeonholes us sometimes in the industry, is that we have amazing product assortment under that $15 price point, which we know is a sweet spot out in the market. So this lovely background behind me is a good example of that. Everything on this wall here, these are all part of our Arlo collection, are under $10. They're made of sustainable fabric, so recycled polyester or recycled stainless steel when you talk about the drinkware pieces, and all of this color selection. So I think, we might not come top of mind when those opportunities arise for your sales team. So one of our big initiatives this year is to really get out there and educate the market to say, hey, yes, we love the high end, we love the gifting, we love the retail brands, but also Gemline has a really great assortment under 15, under 10. And altogether, we have almost 700 products that fall under that $15 price point.
Well,
Yeah.
I did not realize that.
Yeah.
So that's good to know. And you're getting that price point. You're also getting some recycled products. So for
Yep.
those that are interested in sustainability, that's a really great thing to know.
Absolutely. And corporate social responsibility and sustainability and sustainable business practices, those are all things that are very core to how we do business at Gemline. Every time we're putting products into the market, we're thinking, is this a recycled material that we can use? Is this going to reduce a one-use plastic item? Does this have a give back? Is there a cause marketing attached to it? So that sort of sustainability CSR thread sort of goes through every aspect of our business, to the products we launch, to the brands that we partner with. That's very important to us and who we are as a company. And we've really always been practicing business that way. Before it was trendy too, right? Before it was the hot topic out in the market, we were sort of already doing those things. So, as it became, something that became discussion points out in the field, that's when we said, hey, we really got to start talking about this and talking about our sustainability practices. This really leverage what we've been doing and make it's a differentiator for us out in the market. So things like the solar panels on our roof here in Lawrence was a huge, sustainable project, which was an amazing undertaking. Our entire product line will be PVC free by the end of the year. And that's not something that we did because anybody asked us to do it. We did it because it's the right thing to do because PVC is a very harmful chemical component of materials, and it's very prevalent in this market. So, we're switching all of our products over. We're about 95% there to be all PVC free. And we did that in the hopes that other suppliers would follow suit.
Oh, I think that's a great story to tell.
Yeah,
So when our distributor members, they're thinking about, well, where does Gemline fit with my customer?
sure.
Who's a great customer for Gemline, an end user?
Sure. So we play in a lot of different vertical markets. I would say top industries would be healthcare,
Hmm.
finance, education, uh, manufacturing, construction, nonprofit, tech. So those are some ones that come top of mind. And actually, on our website, under the tools and services drop down, we have a field labeled industry markets, and that'll bring you up to a page, and our team has curated product assortments, product collections that play really well into those verticals. So if one of your sales members got a new client in the education field and they were like, ah, what do people in the education field like to buy in promo? We have a already curated product assortment that you can, sort of start there for brainstorming. And we also have branded and unbranded flyers, so marketing collateral that lines up with those items for each of those vertical markets. So that's a really great tool on our website that is there for anybody to come on and use. Yeah.
Always interested in giving marketing tools to the
Yep.
members. Anything that can help them in making the sale. And speaking of the
Absolutely.
sale, a lot of distributors, when they're making their proposals, they have a good, better, best when they're
Yes.
presenting. I think that's great that you now have the under $10 options, so you
Yep.
can actually go to Gemline and get your good, better, best options.
Absolutely. And that's really how we go to market, right? Good, better, best. So the good being the product that we put in under the Gemline brand. And then the better would be house brand, what we call a house brand. So those are brands that have been designed and developed in-house by Gemline, exclusive to Gemline. And they've been designed to kind of give this retail look and feel at a little bit more of an attainable price point. And then you have all of the retail brands that we partner with at that best level. So good, better, best. You know, price points across every category. So that's absolutely how we go to market and absolutely how we could help your sales team, come up with a presentation with those, with building with price.
That's fantastic. So tell us a little bit about the popular brands that members can get through Gemline. And I always wonder, and maybe you can help me with this. The notebooks, are they? I've always heard them called Moleskin, but I've also heard them pronounced Moleskine.
So yeah, so
What's the controversy?
Moleskin is an Italian brand. So
Right,
the Italians say, Moleskin, but
right.
you could just say Moleskin. It's okay.
You know what we're talking about. But tell us a
Yes.
little bit about the popular brands and
Yeah,
especially how they can
absolutely.
work in a gifting program that
Absolutely.
members can work with.
Yep. So Moleskin, I'll start with Moleskin because that is our number one selling brand year over year. And, back in the day before we launched with Moleskin, the feedback we were getting was, you guys are crazy. It's a higher price point. Nobody will buy, nobody's ever going to buy that. And, we just blow that out of the water year after year. It's an amazing brand. It's an amazing product. Everybody, even though we're in such a digital world, I think there's really a piece of connection with handwriting
Right.
notes. And I have mine right here like I always do, and I write all my notes, and it almost becomes like an archive. When you finish a Moleskin journal, it's like an accomplishment, right? And you put it on the
Right.
shelf. It's not something that you'll throw away. You keep it on a shelf and then it's like, yes, I get to start a fresh new moleskin. So moleskins are really so versatile. They're unisex, obviously. They play into many different markets. It's one of those things that maybe you wouldn't necessarily buy for yourself, but if you got it as a gift item or an employee appreciation or a recognition gift, it's like, oh my gosh, this is really nice.
I think you're exactly spot on with that because I know there's a lot of distributors that are just they're trying to get the cheapest price, the lowest price.
Sure.
But I think many of our members would be very surprised if they're not already doing a good, better, best type of an offering
Yeah.
where they're offering the what is perceived as the higher value product.
Yeah.
I think a lot of their customers are going to just say, yeah, that's more than we had budgeted for, but I think we can swing it because people are just going to really love those products.
Absolutely. And even within the Moleskin brand, we have a good, better, best product selection. So we have what we
Okay,
call our Kaye notebooks. So those are the cardboard covers. So at a little bit thinner cardboard covers, then we have our Volant notebooks, which are sort of that flexible, like PU material. And then you get into the higher price points with the hardcover, and there's all different sizes. So there's certainly a good, better, best assortment within that brand itself.
well, I kind of cut you off at Moleskin. What other products in that category, other
Yeah,
brands are
so there's,
available?
gosh, there's so many brands. Some big ones that have, a lot of brand recognition out in the market is Samsonite. So Samsonite, backpacks, luggage, travel pieces. And last year we also brought on High Sierra, which is a under the
Right.
Samsonite umbrella. So a little bit of a lower price point, more geared towards, it's a lot of I would say college students, education sector does really well with the High Sierra brand. Igloo coolers. So Igloo coolers and Igloo drinkware. And then also in the drinkware space, we partnered with Corksicle. I've got my Corksicle here, my 10 years of service Corksicle bottle, as well as Mir. And both of those drinkware companies do have a give back cause marketing piece associated with them, which is really
That's
great.
that's very popular, and
Yep.
mentioning that to some of your clients, I think could be beneficial in the sales process.
Absolutely. And so with Corksicle, they're donating to charity water with every purchase, but Mir goes a little bit deeper. On the bottom of every Mir item, there is what they call a give code, and the recipient can then scan that code and it'll bring them to, a website online that shows you in real time what sort of philanthropic projects Mir is working on today. And they do all sorts of amazing work, both domestic and overseas. And they really focus on things like providing clean water, promoting education. They do amazing, amazing things. And the buyer out in the market is changing, and it's important to buyers that they're making a purchase that sort of contributes to the greater good, right? If you can make a purchase between a water bottle that doesn't give back to some amazing project and a water bottle that does, why wouldn't you?
Right.
So that Mir is an amazing brand, and we have all sorts of collateral with all of our brands that can help sell that brand to your sales team, and then late to their end users. But all sorts of brand content that is available to the sales team for them to utilize in presentations and things like that.
And not only that, having the higher brand, the the value that the end user receives from it, they recognize the
Absolutely,
brand, and there's definitely been a demographic shift
yeah,
in the Gen Z group. They really would rather have fewer cheap things
yes,
and more high-end things, just
absolutely,
really focusing on the value aspect. And
absolutely.
I think that would really be something that our members need to pay attention to as far as
Absolutely. That you're absolutely right. Other brands, and also with Mir, we have and Corksicle, we have cut and sew items too. So coolers, backpack coolers, tote bags, things like that. In the tech space, we have Anchor, iLive, and Clear. So some really great tech brands. Out of the Woods is another great brand we have. Out of the Ocean. So those are two additional sustainable brands under our brand portfolio. I'm looking around the room here, like, what did I miss? Cuisinart. So we've
Okay.
gotten a little crazy with Cuisinart because now we have like meat smokers and pizza ovens and all sorts of cool stuff that is really great for the gifting space.
And I'm sure you've got some catalogs and marketing materials available in case
Absolutely.
an end user wants to know more about the gifting.
Absolutely. And our tool, our website is a great tool. There's a drop down called marketing tools. And you'll find all sorts of things there, like lifestyle imagery that can be downloaded, product images, product videos, uh, collection flyers, brand flyers. There's all sorts of content on there. So if you haven't gone on and sort of dug around our website, I would highly recommend doing that. We have on our website what's called a My Gemline account, and it's free to get a My Gemline account. And if you haven't registered for one, I would strongly recommend that. There's a lot of perks to having that membership. You can order samples online and get free ground freight. You can create virtuals. You can check inventory. There's a lot of amazing tools on our website. We also launched last year with our Kit Creator tool, which is an awesome, really easy to use platform where you're able to go in and sort of create your own kit of products. And
Okay.
we never charge any additional cost to kit together Gemline items, but it sort
Oh,
of brings
great.
you through each prompt. So pick your items, then you can pick your packaging, you can pick add-ons like gift card messaging and exterior carton seals that can all be added. And at the end of it, you can download this really clean PDF quote that either you can keep for your own records or you can forward on to your client.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's
Saves
a
a lot
really
of
great
time.
tool. Yeah.
And the final presentation for the end user is much better when it's in a kit.
Yes. Yes. And we've done so much kitting and film fulfillment lately. I say lately, but it was really, you know, the years post COVID where people were still at home and, these big events weren't happening, conferences weren't happening. So all of these companies were sort of dumping their budgets into sending kits to their, salespeople's homes or whatever.
Right.
And that was where we saw a huge influx in that. And so much so and that's continued on through today. And we've actually built a whole area down on our production floor that's just dedicated to kitting and fulfillment projects.
So, as part of that whole kitting process, do you still have food items available?
Yes. So that's our Gourmet Expressions line. And Gourmet Expressions is such a cool brand, and we really went to market with it a different way. When you think about food and food gifting, you think about Q4, right? It's usually very concentrated towards the holidays, but we sort of went to market with it as a year-round gifting experience. Thank you gifts, employee appreciation gifts, Happy New Year gifts. But the thing with food is when you eat it, it's gone and that's it, right? So our sort of thinking behind it is, well, what if we package the food in these really great branded promo items so that even once
Right.
the food's been consumed, you're still getting those brand impressions with the physical piece after. So that's sort of our go-to-market strategy with our Gourmet Expressions line. And our product management team does such an amazing job of curating these really amazing gifts, and really, we do a big Gourmet Expressions push in Q4, but it's
Okay.
available year round for year round gifting.
Well, that's making me think of samples. I would love for you to send me some of those samples of your food items,
Absolutely. I've
but
taste tested just about everything in the line. I think we all gained like 10 pounds in the office when we were, coming out with the Gourmet Expressions line and figuring out what we were going to put in the assortment. But we have some really amazing food partners that we have.
if our members wanted to get a hold of samples, not just your food items, but any other items, what type of programs do you have available?
Yep. So you all receive free samples up to $15 net.
Wow.
So anything under $15 net or under, you receive for free. And sample orders can either be ordered online through your My Gemline account, or they can be sent directly to maildesk@gemline.com.
Okay.
If you have a UPS or FedEx number, I would recommend asking us to ship on that. Otherwise, we'll invoice you for freight and you'll probably get a better rate if you have your own account number.
Yes, and
And then,
if our members don't know, they should check out Unishippers. They're going to get a great rate, but that's
yep,
another supplier. So go ahead.
yep. And then anything over $15 net is just provided at, the standard blank sample cost.
Okay.
Also, spec samples and self promos we offer at 50% off EQP on Gemline and Gemline house brands, and then
Great.
25% off EQP on retail brands and gourmet expressions.
Okay, so they can get their hands on some spec samples no matter what it
Absolutely.
is, and that's going to be huge in the whole sales process.
Absolutely. And we know, specs write checks, right?
That's
So
right.
we're very we're very open about our spec sample policy. If there's a sales member who has a really great opportunity, I always say I'm willing to work with sales members on spec samples if maybe the cost is a little bit out of their budget. We can always negotiate it and work together on that because I really do believe that, that is a big way to close a sale, right? And
Right.
next to the spec sample is, virtual images, which we also do at no charge. So,
Oh, I think that's going to be a tremendous help
yeah.
with members. So we covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
Jamie, can you think of anything else that our members uh, don't know or may be surprised
Yeah,
about
I
Gemline?
I do want to plug the two new categories that we entered into last year. So headwear and umbrellas. So we launched our own internal house brand of headwear last July, called
Okay.
Merrimack Hat Company. So that's our internal, Gemline branded headwear. Really great assortment of product, really great price points. And then at PPAI this year, we announced our new partnership with Ahead, which is our retail branded partnership in the headwear space. And they
Okay.
just have an amazing product line. They're really well known in the golf space. And while the product is amazing, the real showstopper with all of the headwear, but especially with the head, is all of the amazing decoration techniques that we're offering. So yes, we'll do flat embroidery and heat transfer and all the standard stuff, but we're also doing things like laser engraved suede patches and leather patches and 3D embroidery and vintage labels and all of this really amazing, techniques to brand these hats. And that's all being done in-house at Gemline and standard lead times. And, the great thing about having that in-house is that they can now be a part of the kitting opportunities, right? So
Right.
where before, if you, wanted to include a hat in a Gemline kit, we'd have to ship it in from somewhere else. But now we have this great assortment in line that you can choose from.
Well, sounds like there's a lot of options right off the bat
Yeah.
with the
And then with the
headwear.
umbrellas, just all of our umbrellas, and that was another house brand that we launched. Elements is our umbrella house brand. We have some Samsonite umbrellas as well, but all of the umbrellas under the Elements brand are made of recycled material and they are all PFAS free.
Okay. So those are great options. If somebody wanted to go even farther with their customization options, what do
Yes.
you have available?
Yeah, so we have an amazing direct import site channel in our business that we call Global Solutions. And fun fact, I actually started my career at Gemline working in the Global Solutions department. So I have a pretty vast understanding of how that channel works. And we've done some really amazing stuff. You can order stock product through our GS department for a discounted cost, or we can do what we call stock modified. So that's taking an existing item and maybe we're changing the colors to match your end user's colors, or we're adding, a
Right.
custom step and repeat lining, or maybe we're adding a custom zipper pull. That's what we call stock modified, but we also do fully custom designed from the ground up projects as well. So those are sort of the three buckets. But we do have a new quick turn program. And let me just share my screen quickly because I have a
Absolutely.
flyer here. Uh, can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Beautiful.
So this is our new quick turn program. So what we've done is we've selected 12 of our best selling styles that you can see here. So a variety of different styles, packing cubes, backpacks, duffels, lunch coolers, sling bags, waist packs. And the minimum is only 500 pieces to customize
Okay.
these items. It's a 30-day production time plus your applicable either ocean or air freight. But what you're able to do is choose your exterior fabric color from these standard fabrics here, as well.
Okay.
And we have standard fabrics and recycled fabrics, as well as the lining color. And then we're able to custom dye the trim color. So zipper pulls, zipper tapes, webbing can all be custom dyed. So you can really take an item and really make it custom at a pretty low MOQ and a pretty quick turnaround time. So that is our newest program with direct import. So we're super, super excited about that. Obviously, something like a fully custom project is going to have a longer lead time.
Oh,
But
right.
with if you have, and what I like to tell my customers is, if you work on an order every year, like you're getting this order every year, it's a
Right.
reoccurring conference or something. If you can get your customer to make decisions a little bit earlier than they normally do, which I know is not easier said than done, but
Right.
if you can, you can kind of spin it like, hey, I can save you money. We can get it fully custom. We can really make it, custom to your brand if you can just, move the timeline up a little bit.
So are virtuals available for those custom?
Absolutely.
So you can go ahead and
Absolutely.
show your customer, here's what it could
Absolutely.
look like?
Absolutely. You got
Mm,
to do that, right? That's sort of the first step.
absolutely.
And those are a lot of custom virtuals like that are great conversation starters. People see their brand come alive on a product, and it's like, oh my gosh, yes, we need that.
That's a great idea
Yeah,
because you're going to get the great price point and you're going to give your customer something that's completely unique and
absolutely.
fits their brand. I think
And
that's a
also
fantastic
things,
idea.
thank you. Yes. And also things that are in programs, right? Like if you have a program set up and you've got stock sitting in a warehouse that you're, fulfilling orders with, why not stock a custom item and put that custom item on your program?
Great idea.
Yeah. And speaking of programs, let me shamelessly plug our programs too. Don't want to forget that.
Please,
So
please.
last year we really made a concerted effort to, change our program benefits because we just weren't competitive out in the market. So if you have Gemline items on your online store programs, come to us. We'll set you up with a program number. And what that's going to do is allow you to order half minimums with no LTM charge. So say the standard minimum on an item is 20 pieces, but you have it in a program, you can sell it at 10 pieces at no additional cost. You're going to get 50% off that first setup charge. And then, of course, no repeat setup charges after that. We will hold your pricing for 6 months. So there's a lot of great benefits to having Gemline items in your programs. And if you have Gemline items in your programs and you don't have a program number set up with us, just reach out to us and we can get you all set up with that.
That's fantastic. So people that are
Oh,
using different e-commerce platforms, you're using promo standards?
yes, we are fully integrated with Promo Standards. Actually,
Fantastic.
our CIO is on the board of the Promo Standards, so he's
Great.
very involved. Yep, yep.
Great.
And then also with programs, I forgot one thing. We waive the ship exact fee. So if it's in a program, we're always and that program number's on your PO. We're always shipping exact quantities with no additional charge. That's something that we'll typically charge for. So lots of great benefits.
That sounds fantastic. So, Jamie, we covered a huge amount about
Yeah,
what's
that
going
was
on with
great.
Gemline. Anything else about contacting you for more information, or how do members go to the next step if they want to
Yeah,
work with Gemline?
absolutely. So I guess we should have started with that. My role here at Gemline is a strategic account manager. So, you all have come into my book of business in 2025, and I'm super excited about it. And I think we have a lot of growth potential with you. So we do have regional field managers out in the field, territory managers. So if you do not know who your territory manager is or who your dedicated Gemline sales rep is, please reach out to me and we'll get you connected to the right people. I can, be a gatekeeper or sort of directing traffic to where you need to go. Those are the
Right.
contacts you'll want to work with on, day-to-day inquiries, quotes, projects, virtuals, inventory, things like that. But I'm sort of looking at the business at, a little bit of a higher level, got eyes on the business, identifying opportunities, doing things like this, education, and just know that Gemline, our hand is always raised to get in front of the sales team to
Right.
to talk about whatever topic that they're interested in.
I think that's great. If you've got a program that you've got some great ideas now for, Jamie is the one who's going to help you make it
Absolutely.
happen.
Please reach out. Yes. Yes, absolutely.
So we want our members to check out the private member website,
Yep.
to get all of that information and especially look at your program discounts.
Yes. Yep.
All
Absolutely.
right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Jamie.
Thank you for
It's
having
been a
me.
lot of fun having you. I learned some things about Gemline. Um, I hope our members will reach out to you about any
Me
future
too. Me
projects.
too. We're here to help. So we're looking forward to collaborating with you and growing our business together this year.